so much in Yellowstone. Nice to have a nice bed and sleep really well. So here I am in Cody, Wyoming. Going through the rest of Wyoming, I'm not sure there's much there. So I think I'm gonna just kind of sprint across a lot of Wyoming, still stay off the highway as much as I can, and head to the Badlands, which I quite dutifully love. So it's kind of the plan for today. Cody's a nice place, nice small place. They're well situated in a real great place. I mean, the national parks and stuff, it's like really the start of Yellowstone. So Cody's I don't know, I think Cody's the better place. In my opinion, I guess I would say if you were going to Yellowstone and driving there, going in the east from Wyoming is probably the better way. I mean, I haven't done the south way, but I think east is definitely better than the north or the west. My opinion. Today, I'm starting from Cody, Wyoming. Now, starting from Cody, Wyoming, most people haven't heard of it. I mean, just obviously a little bit to the west is Yellowstone National Park, a beautiful park. You got to know that going there's a nice, really winding road, and so it's going to take you some time to actually get there. But I'm headed east. I'm going to go all the way across Wyoming and end up in just western South Dakota. That's the leg of this trip. That's where I'm headed. That's where I'm going. Shortcut to the Goldfields, Bridger Trail 1864. This region is totally unfit for either rail or wagon roads and can only be traversed with the greatest difficulty. Yeah, this is Wyoming. So cool. Yeah, I like to stop at these historic things and just think about no larger than a dog or drawn horse first appeared for approximately 55 million years ago. It had 4 toes and legs and feet. Huh. Wild horses in the vicinity of Wyoming management is 15 mile. 15 mile is roughly. BLM strives. That's not Black Lives Matter. It's some other thing. Some other group. Bureau of Land Management. Yeah, that's what it means. So there are wild horses around here somewhere. Just not here. I like to think about what it was like in the old West, coming across these plains. Cool. That'll be a nice picture. You'll notice that the landscape will actually alternate. It will alternate from mountains, forests, and all of a sudden you'll get into these big Great Plains, like the one I was just on. And you have all these descriptions of, more often than not, when you stop at these signs, they describe early settlers, early founding of the Great Plains, of like Wyoming or whatnot. Because for the most part, I mean, if you know your Oregon Trail, people were just passing through. And it was only when basically they laid like railroads or whatnot, the land really became habitable for settlers to actually, throw roots down here. For the most part, it's not easy living on the plains. It never was. Native Americans were actually able to do it through, obviously, ingenuity, and actually they were very mobile, so they'd move around a lot. Not really laid the foundation for permanent settlements. But after the railroads, that's where that began. And you can just kind of like, a lot of times you can see like, wow, you know, I'm here and then I'm here. Being stuck in traffic, but I could think of worse areas. So, at least I got a view. You know, when they said most scenic ride into the Black Hills, they were not wrong. I'd say Wyoming's worth the ride through. Woohoo! One of the other things that kind of comes across as you go across Wyoming is you just wonder like some of the vastness and say like, I'm doing this on a motorcycle. How daunting would it feel on like with just a covered wagon? Try doing, I mean, Oregon, I don't think Wyoming was really that much part of the Oregon Trail. I think maybe the southern part was, but just for the most part, just heading through this place is just amazing. Most of the towns you go through are extremely small, real small. If you're from the East Coast or West Coast, you don't know really how small some of these towns can get. So it's definitely an eye-opener to know that some of these people, as I go through, you know, you get stopped and people will ask you, like, you're really from New York and you brought that thing here? So they're not, it's, I think it's easier for a New Yorker to go Wyoming than a Wyoming to New York, if that makes any sense, especially an upstate New Yorker, because you have a little bit more, I guess, a little more wilderness training, if you will. You're able to survive a little bit more on your own, so you're a little more do-it-to-yourselfer. City folk tend to be pretty helpless. But for the most part, this is This is Wyoming. It is open, it's great. Eventually, I would break through to South Dakota, which is also a great state. Wyoming is just absolutely spectacular. Very underrated outside, you know, Yellowstone National Park gets all its attention, but if you look at the rest of the state, you know, a lot of the rest of the state is really, really nice to look at and to enjoy. And I almost think that Wyoming doesn't toot its own horn because they don't want people moving there. They want to enjoy it to themselves. And if that's, hey, that's their own. Wyoming, and it is Buffalo, Wyoming, actually named after the bison, not anything else. Buffalo, New York is named after the French word for buffalo, which means beautiful. This is a nice little spot. That national park's really cool. They even have dates about when some of the rocks were formed. The oldest I saw was like 3 billion, and there's a bunch of like rock formation from Precambrian, etc., etc., etc. But this is a nice town. I want to come back here and do some camping or whatnot and explore some more. Right now I'm just passing through, and that's such an old, nice little diner. Cash and local checks only. So there's that. And it's so old style, like how everything else is like so electronic. Like, you know, they have the QR code for and you get the menu on the you get your menu on the internet. That you don't do that here. They have just reusable menus. And in the time of COVID, it's nice throwback. I really like it. Kind of old style. Finally getting to South Dakota. South Dakota is a very dynamic state going all the way across, and everyone would love South Dakota. And I would end up basically staying at a town called Lead, which is right next to Deadwood, which is actually a very famous town if you know your Old West, and that's where I would end up stopping on this leg of the journey.